Hey Matt, how are
Or
you? Rob Cesternino here. I'm very sad to see you go out of the game this week because I thought you were just such a fun and unique character to have on the show, and I thought you came across as incredibly charming in your confessionals, and I'm looking forward to chatting today.
yeah, me too. I mean, this is a thrilling experience to get talked to Rob. So
Okay, well, all right, well, the pleasure is mine. Um, I want to ask you first about something that happened in the episode last night. You and Brandon were talking, and you were discussing about whether or not the person who is the best at Survivor always does the best on Survivor. And Brandon said, okay, well, yes, you can get screwed, but there's always a way out. Now, based off of what you experienced, do you think that Brandon is right or is he wrong?
um, you like to think that the best player always wins, and
You'd
your
like to think
fate
that, yeah.
is always in your hands. But the truth of it is, I don't think that's true. Like I mean, I'm not bitter. I don't want to come across as bitter or like upset, but I really, every other permutation of those rocks, I think I do better. Like I'm in a fine position. Like it was just that specific possibility, that one universe where I am like screwed and there's kind of nothing I can
Yeah,
do.
where's Doctor
And
Strange?
yeah, to me, I felt I like kind of nod because it's not a good look to be like, no, Brandon, like, but in that moment, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, you have a necklace, you're totally safe. Like, that's like fat words coming from you in this moment where it's like clearly me, who's going home and there's nothing I can do about it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Matthew, can you give us any updates that you can share about the status of you and Franny? Because just want to speak for all the Survivor fans that I talk to and all the RHAP fans that we are very much rooting for you two.
Yeah, I gotta say, I have good news for the Manny Stannies. Me and Franny are going strong. Our relationship has blossomed like even more so than on the show. And yeah, no, we got Ethiopian food. We made that
Yes.
happen. The road trip is on the cards. We're working that out now. So yeah, all of the rumors are true. Me and Franny are still together.
Okay. Wonderful to hear. I noticed you said Manny. Is that your preferred portmanteau? You like that more than Frankenship?
Um, to be honest, I love them both. And actually, my favorite, which Franny hates, is Frathu, because I think it's hilarious. Like, there's something really silly about that. But Frankenship is really good. That like we didn't think of that on the island. And when on the island, we were trying to push them together, and like Manny was what we came up with. So
Okay. All right. Going back to last night, a lot of viewers had said, hey, oh, why doesn't Franny throw the challenge there to protect you? Was that something that occurred to you in the real time, Matt?
it did occur to me. I mean, you're standing there with that pole. They didn't show timestamps, but it was like an hour. It was a long time where you're standing there with that pole. And so, of course, you're running through the numbers and you're thinking about
Hmm.
it. And of course, in that moment, I'm thinking, like, just drop the ball, Freddie. Like, you are safe already. I'm going to be safe. Like, it'll work out no matter what. But at the same time, I cannot, like, blame her for wanting to push herself and like fight through this challenge. It's easy to be like, oh, I would have won or I could have won, but you never know that unless you prove it. And she proved it. She took down freaking Brandon, this behemoth of a man. Um, like, I mean, you love to see it. And they didn't show this either, but when she won, when I saw Brandon's ball drop, there was like a dual reaction for me where the first emotional response was joy. I was like, I can't believe, like Franny has this immunity win. That's huge for her. Like I'm so proud of her. I was like excited for her. And then whiplash into, oh shit, I'm totally screwed. Yeah.
Life comes at you fast.
Yeah.
At the tribal council, we saw Heidi stand up and take Lauren's vote and put it on Jam Jam. Was there a bigger reaction to that than from what we saw at the tribal council? Was there any more discussion about what the group should do?
So they did not discuss at all the advantage at tribal, right? It was just Heidi stands up, she says what it does, and then we go vote. When she said what the advantage was, I thought I was safe, right? I was like, this is my chance. Like my only saving grace here. What I thought, yeah. So if she had put any Ratu vote on any other Ratu, me and Jam Jam would have voted together like 100%. And we would both have been safe. But when she said Lauren on Jam Jam, in my mind, I was like, that changes nothing, right? Like Ratu's already going to split their 3 votes. They just have to shuffle it around. So I was not, it was like another emotional whiplash moment of like, I'm screwed. Oh, I'm safe. Like Heidi's got me. Oh, actually I'm screwed again. Like it's just so turbulent.
Okay. So we saw you and Jam Jam talking. You mentioned that you would have voted with him if the vote was going on to another person. So were you planning to vote together going up into that tribal council, and then ultimately it just like the way that things played out, you could cause you two to both vote for each other?
So, I mean, we crunched all the numbers, right? In a tribe of 5, if only just the 2 of us can't swing it. Like even if it's a tie and like they have the numbers to make whatever they want to happen. So it kind of like we ran through every possibility. It doesn't really matter how we vote, especially considering that Lauren has an extra vote. And we all know that. So at that point, like we were both like, Jam Jam, I love you. I'm going to be trying to advocate for them to send you home tonight instead of me. Like that was the dialogue between us. And it was, I don't know, an understanding. Yeah.
Yeah. Matt, can you tell us, was there more of a backstory to the papaya that you brought to Jeff at Tribal Council?
The papaya was all off the cuff. Genuinely, we went to the other beach and like found a papaya, and I was thinking about the other group. I was like, they're probably hungry. We should bring them fruit. And I just brought it with me to tribal, and then sitting there, I was trying to be, I was like my swan song. I was trying to be funny, and I was just like, oh, I have this thing in my hand, like let's make it a bit. And in that moment I was also like, this is legitimately my best shot at staying in the game. It's like pitching to Jeff that no one goes home and I give him a papaya. Like I don't know, I thought it was funny. That was pretty much what that's
So
the only story with the papaya.
Matt, you also seem to be burned by not having your bag or any of your stuff. You mentioned your bag of tricks. That would you have played a shot in the dark had you had it, or even attempted to use the idol that you had?
Yeah. At that point, I was so confident that it was me, and there was like no hope for me outside of the shot in the dark, basically. So I would have played the fake idol. I knew it was fake. I don't care. I don't mind looking like a fool on television. I would have played the shot in the dark. I would have done all of that. But it wasn't meant to be.
Okay. I really want to ask from you if you could give us the update of what you knew at the time that you went out of the game about the authenticity of your idol and any other idols in the game, and how you arrived at those conclusions.
Right. So actually much earlier than was shown, I was suspicious of my idol. Because I had heard whispers that there were 2 idols in the Ratu cage, and I had only found 1. So immediately I'm kind of like, this is kind of weird. But I had no idea who had the real one. And so that factored into the Josh vote, actually, is if I have an idol, I'm pretty sure it's fake, but I don't know who has the real one. And then Josh is telling all these crazy stories about idols to everyone. That situation was very confusing. And I thought, he probably had it or something like that. And then when he went home without having played it, I was very sure at that point it was Danny. He was the only other possibility. They were the ones who like went off by themselves to look for idols the most at Soka Beach. And I also put the pieces together with Danny, like kind of, holding my hand to go find the idol. I was like, that sneaky little snake,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Matt, did you have any conversation with Danny about the your questions about the idol, or you didn't want to tip him off?
I didn't want to tip him off. So my thinking was, if I know that Danny has an idol, but Danny doesn't know that I know, that is like kind of fertile ground for a Danny blindside, like, or at least the Danny idol flush. I was sort of trying to start laying the foundation for that. And I was making cross tribe bonds as well. I felt actually really good about my social game at this moment. Obviously it didn't work out that way, but
Yeah.
like in the wider group of 11, I felt really strong about where I was.
You know, Matt, we haven't seen a real vote between the three tribes. I had thought coming into this merge that based off of what we saw with Danny and Brandon at the summit with Carolyn, that Soka and Ratu were going to be working together as groups, but we saw that both in this tribal council with you being targeted and Danny talking about Lauren, that maybe that's not the case. Can you just give us sort of from your perspective, just overall where the three tribes are fitting together at this point in the game?
Right. So I think part of the unpredictability aspect of the game, right? You have no idea what's coming. You don't know how it's going to shake out. And so I think that encourages players to actually like play a little bit more conservatively, like play it a little bit more safe. And right now, Carson said in the episode, there's this kind of like Soka Ratu war with Tika playing both sides in the middle. I think that probably is the dynamic right now, but it wouldn't necessarily have been if it was a full group, because I mean I was not the only one making cross tribe connections, right? Where none of us are playing so simple of a game as like, I was with Soka, so I'm staying with Soka. Like I don't know, everyone is not that two dimensional. So I think if it had been a wider group, the discussion would have been much more nuanced than just Soka Ratu war, Tika in the middle.
Okay.
But yeah.
Matt, we saw you in the first episode lose your vote for two tribal councils. How much did losing your vote affect your position in the game from your perspective?
Jamie made this comment of like, Matt's like playing really slow, whatever. I felt like my hand was forced to play slow, right? Especially in a group of 5, I can't make a move or push for anything without a vote. Like the only way I skate by here is like a large majority. So I am basically trying to foster a simple vote, a large majority vote, and like and that can be perceived as playing really slow. But I think I was handcuffed in that by that like situation, to play really conservatively and just like kind of pray that I get through my 2 lost votes.
Yeah. Last question I have for you, Matt.
Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. Matt, last question that I have for you is about Jamie, who seemed to make the transition to come to Soka, but we saw that she was still very close to Ratu in this episode. Did you feel like that she was a part of Soka when she was there with you all?
To be honest, not at all. I actually genuinely tried to create, I was thinking about a Danny blindside anyway, as early as when Jamie came to Soka. So I was like tentatively trying to like create something with her, but she was staying very Ratu strong. She claimed that they hadn't opened the birdcage. She claimed that the first vote was really simple, and like there were already kind of whispers that this was not true. And so I was kind of like, Jamie is clearly lying to my face and doesn't want to work with me. And she's definitely still Ratu strong. Like that was plain for me to see.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Matt, it was really nice to talk to you. I wish that we had a little bit more time to do, have you on for a big long pod. Oh my God. I can't believe I keep talking about a big long pod. Matt, all the best outside the show to you and Franny, and hope to talk to you again soon.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Bye.